All of us at Riot Games are super excited about the fan reception to Wild Rift across the globe so far. I've been playing for the past few weeks now, and it's an incredible mobile experience. If you haven't had a chance to check out the game, I highly recommend trying it on your phone or tablet. Works on both Android and Apple devices. I'm excited to now introduce Leo Faria, the global head of Wild Rift Esports at Riot Games. Thanks for joining us, Leo.
Hello, yeah, happy to be here.
Man, it's so great to finally get started with Wild Rift Esports. We've already started some regional competitions to get the sport off the ground, but mostly right now, Leo and I are learning and getting ready for Season 1 launch in 2022.
Leo, tell us about how things are going.
Of course, I'm happy to. As John mentioned, we're really taking this year to learn and develop the foundations of the sport. We're very excited by the first regional competitions that happened earlier this year. In particular, we were so thrilled to see the success of our very first official tournament, the Southeast Asia Icon Series preseason, that kicked off Wild Rift Esports in 8 markets across Southeast Asia. It took place in February and March, and we saw a very promising start to the sport in the region. It's been amazing and very encouraging to see the reception of fans so far, and we're even more excited to announce that all of our other regions will kick off their esports tournaments for Wild Rift this summer, starting as early as June.
Wow, that's all right.
Nice.
But that's not all right, John.
I get the big announcement, correct. I'm thrilled to announce today that to top off 2021 for Wild Rift Esports, regional teams will qualify for our first ever Wild Rift Global Tournament. While we haven't nailed down all the specifics, Leo's working on that, Riot's committed to a global Wild Rift Esports event in the 4th quarter of this year. Leo's going to bring you a lot more info very soon.
Let's go.
Let's go.
And on that exciting news, let's take a look at some of the Wild Rift questions that have come in. So we'll start with you, Leo. What are Riot Games' plans for regional Wild Rift championships?
Right. Look, as we mentioned early, many of our regions will be kicking off their competition starting this June, and we're currently working on the calendar of events. We have seen a great number of organizations around the world already announcing their Wild Rift teams. In Southeast Asia, for example, we had organizations like the Alliance, RRQ, and even the LOL Esports veterans Flash Wolves announcing their esports teams. And as we announce and kick off competitions around the world, we expect to see some of the biggest names in esports also announcing their Wild Rift Esports teams. Each regional competition will take shape differently, really varying from standalone tournaments to circuits, but we're really committed to making Wild Rift a global sport and build very strong ecosystems around the world.
Excellent. So while we're thinking big and global, what sort of local community esports events support is actually planned for Wild Rift?
Right. So hey, we've been overwhelmed by the appetite and interest of the community for esports. We have seen hundreds of community tournaments taking place around the world, and in the next month, we'll be publishing third-party tournaments guidelines that will offer both guidance and support for independent organizers. We really believe that community tournaments are a great way to make the sport accessible, especially because Wild Rift has such a low barrier to entry. For an ecosystem that is new like ours, creating opportunities for new stars to emerge is a big priority, and we want to make sure we are investing to creating those opportunities.
I'll have John answer this next question. What are your expectations for Wild Rift as an esport?
Always high expectation. So, look, with League of Legends going into its 11th year as a global sport, players have now come to expect a certain level of competition within our esports scenes. So we want to make sure we get this right, build something that's worthy of the mobile gaming esports community. So while we continue to develop what the competitive structure and calendar is going to look like, we're also creating a viewing experience that'll ensure the sport is accessible to anyone, anytime, anywhere. We really believe that mobile gaming will help transform the future of esports. For us, this is about learning from our 10 years of experience on LOL Esports, while also learning what makes the mobile community special, creating a sport that is unique and exciting to watch for Wild Rift players.
Thank you for that, John, and thanks for joining us, Leo.
Thank you.
We're excited to watch Wild Rift Esports develop over the next few months and years.